Bueno, hemos venido escuchando desde finales de diciembre de las nuevas variantes del virus SARS-CoV-2, particularmente aquella que tiene presencia en el Reino Unido y en específico en Inglaterra, que ha generado aparentemente un mayor contagio en ese país y después pues ha aparecido en otras naciones, incluyendo Estados Unidos y ahora México. Pero nos enteramos también en los últimos días que no es la única variante de este coronavirus y vamos a platicar al respecto con un especialista a quien hemos entrevistado ya en otras ocasiones aquí en el programa. Me refiero al doctor Eric Feigl-Ding, epidemiólogo de la Universidad de Harvard, quien nuevamente nos acompaña. Dr. Feigl-Ding, thank you for being on our show again.
Thank you.
We've been reading, Doctor, about the variants of this coronavirus, specifically the one I was talking to our audience about, the one in the UK, in England, to be specific. But there are others. I was reading about it on your Twitter account yesterday. So could you please help us with some information? First, in general, what do we understand as a variant of this coronavirus?
Right. So there's the common type that's been spreading around the world. And just so you know, the common type is already the second generation. It's different from the original variant that was from Wuhan. But compared to the common type, the UK variant, B117, is much more infectious, anywhere from 40 to 80% more infectious. But it's not more severe on an individual basis, but in more infectious means it will actually sicken more people. And then there's also the South African variant, as well as the Japanese discovered Brazilian variant that we just discovered this weekend.
Me dice el doctor Feigl-Ding que de hecho la variante del COVID que más ha infectado el mundo ni siquiera es la primera generación. La primera generación es el que apareció en Wuhan hace un año, pero la segunda generación es la que más se ha expandido en el mundo. Y sobre la variante que apareció en Reino Unido, que se conoce como B117, dice que es mucho más infecciosa, entre 40 y 80%. Dice, no produce una enfermedad más severa, pero sí contagia a más personas. Además de esa variante, existe una sudafricana y otra brasileña que ya se han expandido a otras partes del mundo. Is there a difference between B117 and the South African variant and the Brazilian variant, which was discovered in Japan?
Yeah, there is the difference because what the South African and the Brazilian variants have that the British B117 does not have is a worrisome mutation called E484. And this 484 amino acid mutation, the single mutation, has been shown in studies to escape neutralizing antibodies. That means that whether it's convalescent plasma or antibody drugs, or maybe the vaccine, it could actually evade the antibodies that we developed to the original virus. But now the Brazilian and the South African virus strain, because they have this 484 mutation, could actually affect these drugs and previous treatments, and also mean possible higher risk of reinfection. So these are the things we're worried about.
Bueno, le pregunté al doctor Feigl-Ding cuál es la diferencia entre las variantes B117, aparecida en el Reino Unido, y las variantes sudafricana y brasileña. Y me dice que las dos últimas tienen algo que no tiene la 117, que es una mutación de aminoácidos que se denomina E484. Dice que la característica que tiene esta mutación es escapar a los anticuerpos, ya sea plasma, ya sean medicinas de anticuerpos y probablemente incluso a la vacuna, y tiene además la característica de que puede generar reinfecciones. So, doctor, it wouldn't be rare that someone got the second generation coronavirus and is reinfected by one of these variants.
Yeah, so there is a chance, and actually they discovered this just recently. They discussed actually two of these reinfections in Brazil, and one of them had the 484 mutation variant. And so this is also worrisome. We already have many, many reinfections already established for the previous, but now this one is even more worrisome. And they're doing tests to confirm whether it will escape the vaccine or not. We don't know for sure yet, because in some of the people, it did not escape, but out of 11 out of 12 people they tested, it did escape a little bit from the neutralizing antibodies. So this again means potential higher chance of reinfection, as well as maybe slightly lowering of the efficacy of drugs and vaccines. But that has to be clearly shown. It's not guaranteed, because the UK variant B117, its mutation did not affect the vaccine. But worst case, if they need to synthesize a new vaccine, it only takes 6 weeks. But this is the thing we're trying to figure out.
Bueno, me dice el doctor Feigl-Ding que la variante británica pues no tuvo problema con la vacuna. La vacuna es eficaz contra esta variante, pero no se sabe todavía si será eficaz contra la variante sudafricana y la variante brasileña. Por cierto, me dice que en Brasil ya hay casos de reinfecciones del virus original con esta nueva variante que tiene la mutación E484. En las pruebas que se hicieron en 12 personas, en 11 casos, esta nueva variante escapó a los anticuerpos. Would this mean, if it can be proven, Dr. Feigl-Ding, that it can escape the vaccine, would it be necessary to return to the drawing table?
Not necessarily. We may not have to design a new one, because right now the vaccines against the common variant that the vaccine was designed is 95% effective. And we were ready to approve a vaccine even if it was 50% effective. So we don't think the efficacy will drop from 95 to 0. It could drop 5%, maybe 10%, and which still means it's still a pretty good vaccine. So we don't have to go straight back to the drawing table. But over many years, and this is the problem, over many years, we know mutations will happen. And we know that over many, like 3, 4, 5 years, there can be a mutation that emerges so different that we will have to go back to the drawing table. But that said, mRNA vaccines are very fast and easy to design. If we have the sequence of the new vaccine, a new virus, we can quickly redesign the mRNA vaccine within 6 weeks. But it will need months of more testing. But I don't think it's not something to panic about, but something to be a little bit concerned about. And that just means more. Even if you've been infected or have the vaccine, you should still wear a mask.
Me dice el doctor Feigl-Ding que este tema que estamos platicando no es para panicarse, pero sí para tener algo de preocupación y también para seguir utilizando un cubrebocas aún si uno está infectado. Dice que no cree que en caso de que se determine que estas variantes puedan mostrar mayor eficacia en contra de la vacuna, pues que la eficacia de la vacuna seguramente no caerá por debajo del 50%, que podría bajar algunos puntos, pero que también la tecnología que se ha usado para desarrollar las vacunas permitiría un rediseño que podría hacerse en unas 6 semanas una vez que esto se compruebe. Dr. Feigl-Ding, do you think that when an important percentage of the population has been vaccinated, we will be seeing more mutations or quicker mutations of the virus?
So the mutations normally happen at a regular pace until you force it to evolve very quickly. And sometimes what happens, and what we think caused this mutation to arise, is that there was someone who was immunocompromised and took too much convalescent plasma or monoclonal antibody drugs that therefore forced the virus to evolve within their body without killing the virus completely. So vaccines is a prevention program. It should prevent you from being infected and therefore not have the virus float in your body. So it's not a worry for vaccines, but it is a worry for someone who is chronically ill, bad immune system, and they take these drugs or convalescent plasma, and the virus never gets cleared. And that is what actually drives the evolution of this virus to have so many mutations all at once in order to survive. So I'm not worried about that.
Would this be something like people taking antibiotics without needing them, that they create a resistance to the medicine?
Exactly. It's very similar to antibiotic resistance, in which if you just take your antibiotics like half dose, or you don't take the full course, the bacteria can develop a resistance to a drug and quickly evolve new ways to escape. A virus is kind of the same. So again, a vaccine trains your body to fight it from the beginning. But the worrisome thing is if someone who's half sick, half weak immune system, and take these half measures drugs for a long time. That's what we think caused these mutations to arise.
Estamos platicando con el doctor Eric Feigl-Ding, epidemiólogo de la Universidad de Harvard, sobre pues las razones de estas mutaciones. Me dice las mutaciones son normales en la naturaleza, pero también puede ser estas variantes sobre las cuales estamos hablando, que se hayan derivado de alguien que no haya tomado en las dosis correctas o no se le haya administrado en dosis correctas el plasma o antivirales o anticuerpos, y que esto haya obligado al virus a mutar, un poco como lo que sucede con las bacterias cuando uno pues no toma adecuadamente el tratamiento o abusa de los antibióticos. Finally, Dr. Feigl-Ding, do you think that these two new variants, I was going to say strains, but they are really variants of coronavirus found in South Africa and Japan, will evolve like the B117 and cause an acceleration of infections?
So I think these variants by themselves may not evolve further, but the South Africa one is slightly different from the Brazilian one. That South Africa one also has one of the mutations in the UK. They share something with the UK variant that makes it more infectious. So the South Africa one might be more infectious and have the bad one that escapes antibodies a little bit. I don't think they'll evolve further, but if the total number of people infected worldwide keeps growing, millions and millions more, we will keep getting unlucky. Or if it enters animals reservoirs, such as minks in Denmark or Belgium, and these
gorillas
animals
now, right?
also allow the virus to mutate a lot and then come back to people, which we've seen. Many years from now, we could see another resurgence of another mutation. And that's why we have to aim for zero COVID and vaccinate as quickly as possible to stop the pandemic.
Le pregunto al doctor Feigl-Ding si estas dos nuevas variantes, la sudafricana y la brasileña, podrían tener un comportamiento similar al B117 y provocar una aceleración en los contagios. Me dice que todavía no está muy claro, que en todo caso la sudafricana podría tener esa capacidad, pero que la preocupación es que continúen estas mutaciones, que brinquen, por ejemplo, a animales y después regresen al humano en otras formas, y por eso debemos apostar, me dice, a eliminar por completo el coronavirus. Is it possible is a world with zero COVID possible?
I think a world with zero COVID is possible if we vaccinate as quickly as possible and make sure that there's no animal outbreaks like the mink farms that keeps the virus floating around. We've been able to eradicate smallpox, as you know. We've been able to almost eradicate measles. But the problem is, of course, we have to get people to take the vaccine. Vaccines itself don't save lives. It's vaccine rollout programs. And so we have to defeat this together as a world. And it's possible. It really is possible, but it will take time and human motivation and political willpower.
Dr. Feigl-Ding, always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you very much for accepting this interview.
Thank you.
Gracias al doctor Eric Feigl-Ding, que ahí en la última pregunta yo le planteaba si es posible pensar en un mundo libre de COVID, y me dice que va a depender de la vacunación. Las vacunas no son las que salvan vidas, son los programas de vacunación los que salvan vidas. Gracias al doctor Eric Feigl-Ding, epidemiólogo de la Universidad de Harvard.